This is a piece called Paris of Troy, which I've performed a number of times. I've never tried to introduce it, which I somehow feel moved to tonight, by reminding you that if we speak of a continent called Asia, it's thanks to the Greeks who gave that word to the northwest part of Anatolia that was right across the Bosphorus. And they gave it that name because it was already called that by the Hittites. And through a sort of synecdochic contagion, that name gets applied to the whole continent, which should include Europe, but of course there was the magic force field that somehow prevented that from happening. Well, actually one of the reasons, the force field, actually you could say that the Homer's Iliad was in fact that force field, and that the Trojan War was where the difference gets articulated. Like a lot of Greek ideas, it's one that is still out there, vexing life for lots of us. And this gets some glancing reference in the piece you're about to hear tonight, some of you now for the second or maybe even third time. But the good news is that, in reality, this is more than anything a doomed love story, and who doesn't enjoy that? So, should we cue up that second track? Wait for the beat. The beat. Oh, and I would also like to dedicate this evening's performance to my friend Julian Brolowski, who mines a lot of the same earth that I like to dig around in, and just earlier today was reading a poem which began almost the same way as what you're reading here now, so I'm going to start reading. Some say it is a regiment of horsemen in formation. Others, a platoon of footed soldiers. Wow. Others, name a fleet of warships. Of all things out on the black earth, the most beautiful. But I say, it is the city of Troy, the broad city with wide avenues. It has lofty gates and fine towers. It is a great city, the city of Priam, the Trojan city. Out on a plain deep with rich soil, Troy, the holy city. Sacred, steep and frowning, but a well-built city, comfortable to live in, lovely to look upon. Of the most fearsome horses of the waning Bronze Age, Troy is the loving breeder and noble breaker. It is the clitoral tip of Asia. You don't believe me? That's a Hittite word, Asumwa, for the windy northwest corner of Anatolia, where stood gleaming Tadawissa, the Hittite word for Troy, the well-carpeted, high-pavilioned, and overcome with love for Helen, the entire municipality and its environs, now wooded with men, all weep for the love of her, who surveys them from the high walls. Whatever makes us all worthwhile, she is it. She stands there for 60 seconds exactly, which you would know if you were sitting there with me, watching and rewatching this scene from Troy, wearing out the remote control. That's Paris on the right, the dreamy abductor. His brother's trying to tell him something. Yeah, whatever. To be back in my perfumed bedchamber, trading pearls with Helen for white diamonds on a terry cloth. Out here on the battlefield, I find they weigh me down. That look, though, 2.5 seconds. Get back here, Helen, croaks Peter O'Toole. You're making the men wet. My high-spirited, overweening, insolent, great-hearted men of Troy are feeling those white arms of yours like, boo! So Paris, listen. Your whole community stands staring off into space, not knowing exactly what's coming, but loving still what caused it. The whole abduction narrative, I thought I could be left out as I lobbed Mycenaean meatballs at you about King Priam as the template for the stereotypical Eastern despot. But instead, I find this naughty story of a city laid waste for the misdeeds of one errant prince, and this is our view over the balcony of the bristling death brought on top of Troy. Gods in the movie are hardly seen. Only this viral torrent of men oozing up the beach at Cabo San Lucas. Not even in a dream could you see this many. Not in full armor like this, marching with the sun upon their backs, after it was on their faces at the beginning of the long take, if you can call this a long take. More like a digital painting, really, of a shambling, streetless city of death to what is most beautiful in the world to me, and that is the freedom to take a lover from whomever I choose. Even an old war horse twice my age if she's hot enough. Yeah, I know I've let you all down. I'm real worked up about it. Remember, though, my papa took 50 brides, and ever since I was a babe, all my decisions have been based on pure feeling, till what was done far away is thrown in papa's face, the rumble turning into a rattle. A giant dust cloud parting to reveal the polished shields and spear points, each one a glaring mirror to the sun, lighting the plain like 250,000 walking campfires. None of this is out of proportion to the tumult in my spirit on the first night I took Helen, and have continued to enjoy on most nights since then. What? Is there a motherfucking problem? I ask this in the very teeth of the male face now drawn near, with my community behind me, as the greatest supporting cast in Greek mythology is brought into view, each hero pictured on his chariot as on the painted vases of a faraway and distant period.